Welcome to another episode of The Latest with Maya. Today, I am very excited to be having a conversation with actor David Reale. Thank you so much for being on my show. I am so excited to be talking with you.
Thank you, Maya. I'm so excited to be on the show with you.
So my first question for you is, so you played Benjamin in Suits,
Uh-huh.
and I just finished binge watching it. I love that show.
Yeah.
Um, have you been surprised that Suits has found a second round of popularity now that it's on streaming platforms?
Um, you know, I'm not surprised because I think it is such a binge-worthy show, and it got on the streamers, and it was also like everyone was in lockdown and people started watching it again. And it was, I definitely noticed because more people are hitting me up online or stopping me on the street and saying like, "Hey, Benjamin." So that's kind of fun. I think it's cool that shows that, when if it the way TV used to be, unless they were like in syndication and reruns after it was run, you wouldn't see it anymore. But now people can watch it whenever. And so I think that's pretty fun.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, my mom was rewatching it with me, and um I mean, I was watching it for the first time and she was rewatching it
Okay.
because she loved it when it was on. And so yeah, we binged it together, which was really fun. So
When you're binging, like how many episodes are you watching at a time?
oh, it depends, because a lot of the times it's maybe we lose track of how many episodes we watch at a time, because
Yeah.
it's just so easy to just keep watching. So we would spend, especially there were a couple weeks there that um my mom was sick and then I got sick, and so we were home just watching Suits all day. So
Yeah, yeah. That's
yeah.
funny. I'm a little sick right now, so I was at home all day yesterday binging shows. So,
Yeah. What are you binge watching right now?
yesterday I was watching season 2 of Invincible. It's a superhero cartoon
Oh
show.
yeah. Yeah, I've
Uh,
heard of that.
yeah, it's really good, and the voice actors on it are all like amazing actors, and it's interesting and fun, and yeah, a good binge watch.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, I've never seen that. I'll have to write that show down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm binge watching Grimm.
Oh yeah,
So yeah.
I haven't seen that one yet. Where is that
It's
on?
so good. It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's also on Peacock because there was an NBC show. So
Oh, okay, yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So I'm obsessed with that show right now. Yeah. Um, so can you tell me a little bit about your newest project, Less Than Kosher?
Oh yeah. Well, Less Than Kosher, it's like a web series, but it's touring the world right now doing film festivals because although it can be chopped up and watched episodically, I think it's on something called Highball TV, and you can watch the episodes are like, I don't know, 12 minutes each, but it's also cut into a feature-length film, and it's touring festivals right now, and it is a musical comedy uh, about a liturgical singer, like a cantor in a synagogue. Well, it's like a young woman played by Shayna Silverbaird who also co-wrote the show. It's kind of like her passion project, and she's this incredible singer actor here, and she made this show where she's this kind of like reluctant cantor, like she's kind of like lapsed Jewish, like she doesn't go to synagogue or anything like that, and she's like wants to be a pop star, and that kind of isn't going so well, and she moves back home and ends up at her synagogue with her family, and sort of lapsing into these really deep, profound song experiences where she kind of like imagines a whole other world. Like when she sings, she kind of goes into a different space. Like she's having these like deep spiritual experiences, which is great on the show because it means you can have like music videos with dancers and all kinds of things that aren't happening in reality. Um, yeah, and I play the son of the rabbi who she there's sort of like are they go will they won't they semi kind of romantic thing going on there.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where I could watch it, so now I know. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Highball TV.
Okay,
Yeah, if you
thank
watch
you.
it, let me know what you think.
Okay, I will.
That's one I'm really proud of. I love that show.
Yeah. So why was it important to you to be a part of this project?
Well, I mean, what's so cool, I've been acting since I was a kid, since I started doing theater when I was 10, and I started doing film and TV when I was like 14. And so I always felt like the little kid with all the adults around me. And I was always hoping I would be like discovered and be like, famous and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
But as I sort of grew up in the industry, now when I get to make a show like this, it's with colleagues. Like I know the producers because we used to do theater together when in our early 20s. And I know, Shayna and I have been in the same, world, although we were acquaintances because we were both actors for like 10, 15 years. And it's really cool now that when I get to do a project, it feels like I'm uh, creating something with friends versus like trying to get my shot.
yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so how do you keep yourself motivated to create even on days when you aren't fully feeling it?
That's a good question. How do I stay motivated on days that I'm not fully feeling it? I don't know. I think it's important to like, I'm learning to let myself, like, I just finished another project, and usually after that, I kind of crash. So I think that's probably why I'm a bit sick right now. And I think like sometimes I would have a hard time. I still do have a hard time letting myself just do nothing. And I think it's important to just go, okay, there was just a lot of output. You were just working, 13-hour, 14-hour days. It's probably good just to do nothing for a couple of days here and really recuperate. And so I think that's part of it, letting yourself and
Yeah,
not beating yourself up about really just relaxing and finding healthy ways of relaxing and recovering, and then finding things that inspire you to fill the tank, which probably you know more about than I do. I feel like
yeah.
inspiration is like that's your whole deal.
Yeah, I there's a lot that I'm sorry. I don't know why my brain is not working this morning. So
So that's okay.
I had a thought in my head and then it got all jumbled. So now I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, I guess I was asking like what keeps you inspired, or if you're feeling uninspired, is there something you can do to get inspired again?
Oh, it's uh, I'm trying. There's a couple things that I don't know. Like I will work on what helps me is like I will have a goal of some like somebody I want to interview or something that like that keeps me motivated that like don't stop until you get this interview and then
Uh-huh.
find somebody else. And so
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Right. So yeah, that you always have the next goal. I
Yeah.
think for me, I also because I teach as well. Like I teach at a college up here in Toronto and at some private studios, just kind of part time, and really trying to connect with other actors and help them like discover, how to bring more of themselves to this thing that they love, find more joy, more freedom, more creativity inside of this art form. That I find that really inspiring because often I find myself in a position where I'm giving someone advice or helping someone with something that challenges me. And so by helping them along, I'm like, oh, I can help myself along. Because oftentimes, I think we're all like this, we can be harder on ourselves or we can't quite see ourselves objectively. So we may feel stuck. And then by helping someone else, by taking our attention off of ourselves and putting it on someone else, we can help solve a problem or help someone along or realize that the problem wasn't as big as we thought it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Um, so what small things bring you joy on a daily basis?
Small things bring me Um, well, coffee. Here's the thing. Here's
Yeah.
the thing with coffee though. I try not to have it every day because it like I have a coffee and then I'm on like another planet. Like the caffeine really affects me.
Yeah.
And so to keep that strong, I will every week take like a couple days off and sometimes I'll take a week off of coffee and then when I go back to it. And so I love going to my local coffee shop and because I now a lot of friends go there and I know the staff that works there. And so on the days that I do go, it's just so nice just seeing, starting having that little ritual with people and starting our day together and having conversations. So that's one of my favorite things that's happening lately.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. That's really fun. Um, so who do you most admire and how has that impacted the way you live your life?
Whoa, who do I most admire? Um, I've said this before, but I think it's like you know, my grandmother is such a she has dementia now and she can't do a lot of the things she used to do because she was just she was this kind of woman who was the master of the home and would such an incredible cook and would never stop whenever anyone was around. She was so generous, always making food and making people feel welcome and at home. And it was always hard to get her to sit down. Um, and now she has to sit down and she hates it. She can't, she's like, wishes she could be up and cooking and doing what she used to do. But I just thought, in my actors can get so caught up in celebrity and in you know having our value by with other people thinking that we're great and always being in competition and with my grandmother, she was so excellent at what she did. And anytime anyone, I always was so proud to bring people home to meet her. And whenever anyone meets her or gets to eat her food or experience her, they're always so blown away. And she never was doing it for any of the reasons that can be distractions, like for fame or for people to, I don't know, maybe she does want people to think she's great. but and so, yeah, to me, someone like that is my inspiration, someone who is doing what they're doing because of they love the people right around them.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really sorry to hear that.
Oh yeah, she's okay. I mean, she's doing really well, and
Good.
yeah, yeah, she's doing
Well,
well through the illness so far.
well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what are people surprised to learn about you?
What are people surprised to learn about me? I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, Well, there is one thing you might know this, that I was in a very I did a very small part. I was a background performer in a very famous movie. Do you know where I'm going with this?
I don't know.
Okay, well, you might find this interesting then. So I
Yeah.
was in Mean Girls.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I remember
So
that.
I played this character. Well, played this character. I was Glenn Coco in Mean Girls,
Oh yeah.
which is not even not even really a character. It's just like a line that someone says. But I'm sitting in the class, and they're giving out candy cane grams, and he throws the candy canes to me, and so I'm Glenn Coco. And what you know, and that blew up on the internet at some point. I don't know when, like in 2008 or something, 2010, and it's become like a little Easter egg. And so whenever someone hears that, they get pretty excited.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, as soon as you said that, I asked where if I know where you're going. I was like, I think I do, but now my mind's blanking. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah. So that's really cool.
yeah. That's my fun little surprise for people.
Oh, I love that. Um, so is there a show or a movie that you watch when you just um want to be comforted and like escape and
Um, yeah, definitely. You know, I have a projector, and I just got a screen so I could have watch movies on a screen in my place.
oh cool.
So when I set it up, I was like, what's the first movie I'm going to watch on this new projector? And I watched 10 Things I Hate About You,
Yeah.
you know, which
Yeah.
is like, such a movie from when I was, I guess, a teenager. And it's so great. And, it's like it was the first time I ever saw Heath Ledger, you know, um, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in it, and he's great. And uh, Julia Stiles. And yeah, that made me feel very nostalgic and warm. And I was just putting it on to sort of test if it worked. And then I just sat down and watched the whole thing and just loved it.
Oh, I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
It makes me want to watch some other movies I haven't watched since I was a kid. Like, do you ever see Free Willy?
I didn't.
This is a movie about a kid who like there's like a an orca whale in like a SeaWorld kind of place, and he kind of
Yeah.
this kid falls in love with this whale and then helps like free the whale back into the
Oh,
wild.
oh, cool.
I haven't seen that movie for like 20 years, so maybe I'll watch that next.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, one of my favorite movies is, well, I have three go-to movies that it's Shazam,
Okay.
um, Home Again, and The Prom. So they're all different, but
Yeah.
they're all my go-to movies.
What's Home Again?
That one is with Reese Witherspoon and
Okay.
Candice Bergen and
Oh.
Michael Sheen.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
great.
so
Yeah.
good. It's one of my favorite movies of Reese's, and it's about she moves. Uh, she's recently divorced and moves back to her childhood home in Los Angeles with her two kids, and then she meets these three guys who are filmmakers, and they move in with her.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's such I just love it. It's such a good movie.
Okay,
So
I'm gonna check that one out.
yeah, I'll have to. I haven't seen. Uh, I think I saw 10 Things I Hate About You a long time ago, so I'll have to rewatch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, so what motivates you every day?
Oh dear, I don't know. I don't know if I'm motivated every day. What does motivate me? I think I don't know. Just you know, w- I'm on set just the other day, and I was feeling really stressed. There was like it was a challenging day, and I was having a hard time, and I was worried that that what I was doing wasn't good enough, and I was like, because I was really struggling. I kept forgetting some lines, and I was like, and then the stress makes that worse because then it's like you feel less creative and more boxed in. And I stopped and just kind of looked around. It was a dinner table scene, and I stopped and I looked around the table at all these other actors and everyone behind the camera, all these people making this thing together, and I just kind of pinched myself and reminded myself that you know it's so it's so cool to get to be alive and get to celebrate life by creating these stories to kind of like connect with people like, hey, isn't it wild to be alive? Like in this scene, it's like a family scene, and um, we're people have these families, and we all have similar experiences, and you can make something and you can sit in the theater. This is how I felt watching Less Than Kosher in a theater at the premiere, you know and 700 strangers are laughing or identifying or groaning, and we all sort of feel the same and together, even though we can feel isolated and different. And so I think I just find life this like kind of wild thing. I can get really existential about it. Like the odds that you and I are talking right now, like how wild is this? The idea that either of us were born, the odds are like 1 in, 800 bazillion that we would ever exist at all. And then for our paths to cross and for us to talk, what a what a wild experience that happens this one time. And I get off on that so much that when I can remind myself how amazing life is, when I can stand in awe of that, is when I feel at my best. That's what I love. And so for me, getting to do theater or film or TV, any of these things is like trying to capture a piece of that and share it so that we can remind each other like, hey, being alive is just a wild, amazing thing.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Um, so of all that you have accomplished so far, is there something you are the most proud of?
Um, you know, I think for a long time I was never really proud of anything I did because I don't know, like I was saying, like I always wanted to be better, to be doing something better, and maybe always felt like I wasn't good enough or something like that. And lately I've really tried to like reframe that and not make success something that can prove that I'm good enough, but actually it anything I do sort of being an expression of something that I love. Like I love acting. And so and I love movies and I love theater. And so when I get to be a part of it, whenever I've done something that as I was doing it, I knew I love this and I'm sharing something that I love. Whether or not I'm good, that's not important. What's
Yeah.
important is I love this and I'm doing it out of love and I'm sharing that, right? That brings me back to my grandmother. Like her making food for the family, being like, I love this, I'm putting my love into it and I'm sharing it with all of you. So the projects that I felt that way on while I was working, I'm very proud to share.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Um, so what genre of movie would your life story be told as?
What genre? Oh, wow. That's such a good question. What genre of movie? I mean, hopefully not horror.
Yeah.
Um, um, life is everything, isn't it?
Yeah,
Comedy, drama. It would have to be. It would have to be. I hope it's a comedy. I
yeah,
hope it's a comedy that way, because no matter how, the best parts of life are when something awful is going on, but you can find a way to laugh at it.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, with my family and I have such a warped and dark sense of humor because of everything that has happened. So we
Right.
often find like it's like we find ourselves very funny, but then other people who do not know us don't really get it.
Right.
So
Because you'll find humor in some things that other people find upsetting.
yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Me and my friends are like that as well.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I want speaking of home again, I want my life to be like a rom-com, like because I just that's one of my favorite genres of movies. So I'm like, I want to try and make my life like a rom-com, like it needs to be like that. So,
What are some other of your favorite rom coms?
oh, love. I mean, I love When Harry Met Sally.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Well, that
yeah,
one. We could just stop right there. How good
yeah,
is that?
yeah. Oh,
Gotta watch
so
that
good.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love a lot of, Reese Witherspoon's movies, like just like Heaven and Sweet Home Alabama. And
Right.
so, yeah. Yeah. Um, and then there are other ones that now I'm blanking on. As soon as you ask me these questions, my mind just
Well,
goes
that's
blank.
why I keep
So,
asking questions back to you because I blank when you ask me. So it's like,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's just one that we watched that I really liked that now I'm trying to think of as we talk. But I
have you ever seen Notting Hill?
yes, I love that one.
I just watched that one again recently, and I like that one a lot.
Oh, yeah, that one is so good. Yeah, a lot of Hugh Grant movies.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, but there was whenever I say I want my life to be like a rom-com, I just sorry, I get so sidetracked easily, so this is like um but there was this show once that whenever I say I want my life to be like a rom-com, I just start laughing because I think of this one scene from a show where one of the characters wants his life to like he's setting things up to have a meet cute and he wants his life to be like a rom-com and then his sister tells him that life is not a rom-com. If anything, it's a psychological thriller. So I just that's what my mind always goes to when I say I want life to be like a rom-com, but
That is that. You know what? I feel the same way. I think my life swings between rom com and psychological thriller.
yeah,
That's exactly the
yeah,
pendulum.
yeah. Um, so what three words do you think best describe you?
Oh dear, what three words best describe me? Oh no. Oh gosh. Um. Well, I could go with the words that like I hope the ones or the ones that I'm afraid describe me. I hope the words that I hope describe me are curious, um, uh, passionate, and um, mm, oh wait, someone said something the other day and now I'm forgetting it. Curious, passionate, and uh, um, uh, I can't think of a third one.
Yeah. Um, yeah.
Uh,
I'd say funny.
Funny. Okay, thanks. I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah.
Let me put one. I got to put one in there that's like true that I don't like. Otherwise, it's like too egotistical. So let's say curious, funny, and like irritable.
Hmm. Yeah.
Because that's something that people don't like about me. Because I can get irritated, and I kind of like cool down and just
Yeah.
you know relax.
Oh, yeah, me too. Yeah, a lot of the times, yeah, I need to like bite my tongue because I can get like I'm very frustrated, and then I'm also a very passionate person. So if it's like a certain subject we're talking about, I yeah can go off.
That's another reason why I love getting to do what I do, which is like it's a place for all of those parts of myself that maybe can maybe make my life a mess.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, well, okay, I'm gonna just breathe and not make a mess of the situation, but then maybe get to do a story where I get to be more messy and
Yeah.
chaotic and frustrated and
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, so I love inspiring and motivational quotes. And this week, my favorite quotation is someday we will find what we are looking for, or
mm,
maybe not. Maybe we'll find something much greater than that.
oh yeah.
Um, is there a quotation that has inspired you lately?
Um, Probably. I'd have to look, but I like that one you just said. I love the idea that maybe I'll find what I'm looking for or maybe something greater. I think that's so cool because yeah, that that it's an hang on, I got some hair in my mouth. That we can be really driven to go after something, but we always got to be open to what might be there for us when we arrive, because otherwise we could be going after something, we could not get it, and then we could just get upset and think we've failed but miss the thing that was actually the wonderful surprise that was there along the way. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal that one.
Okay. Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I like your quote, so
Great.
yeah. Um, well, I have just had the best time talking with you. You have made my day. I so appreciate you taking the time to join me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Maya. Thank you for reaching out. This was such a wonderful conversation.
Thank you. Yeah, I have just had the best time talking with you. So, and that's a wrap on today's edition of The Latest with Maya.